Everyone, I need to issue an apology. I said last episode that I was watching through Ultra Q and there was a real cool monster that they used the Godzilla suit for, and I called him Gyras.
Wait,
I meant Gomez. Gomez? That's what I meant. Oh man, I butchered it even further now.
did you call him Gyras?
There's two Ultraman monsters that use Godzilla suits. One is Gyras, but that's later down the track in Ultraman, not Ultra Q. Gomez. Is it Gomez?
Gomez.
Oh man, I'm just gonna, that's it. I'm sorry everyone. I'm just gonna get away from the subject because this is getting further and further down a hole we don't want to get down. But Ultra Q's good. Good show, check it out. What I did want to talk about as well, actually, was that we got our Spotify Wrapped for 2022.
Yeah, this was exciting. Showing all the stats of all of our listeners. We know everything about you guys.
Every single thing, where you are, who you are.
I'm looking at you, David.
Yeah, and I'm looking at you too, Christine.
You two are like,
Yeah,
oh man,
thanks
we have
for
to
listening.
talk.
Yeah, we have to talk. We've got some important things we need to discuss with you two. But the stat I wanted to bring up most of all was just that we are the number one podcast for 42 listeners.
Do you know how good that feels?
That's insane.
You guys are legends.
Yeah, we're also in the top 5 podcasts for 150 listeners.
Insane.
And we're in the top 10 podcast for 209 listeners. This is crazy. We didn't, we see the numbers every episode, but just to realize that a lot of you out there do listen to the show, do enjoy it, I don't know, makes us happy, you know?
Yeah, it's insane. It's great.
Yeah, so we just wanted to say thank you. We appreciate all of you listening and, I don't know, flicking us a message, talking to us in the Discord, just supporting the show. You guys are awesome.
It's a privilege and an honor.
Yeah, it is. Let's get into Godzilla, though. Godzilla versus Megalon.
Oh, how good is this beverage? I won't say the name because we're not sponsored.
Yeah, this beverage we're both drinking. Great stuff.
I wish you guys could join us
Yeah.
on how great this beverage is. But
Yeah. Imagine if we had a Podzilla beverage. This is probably the Podzilla beverage
This
at the
would
moment,
be,
keeping
yeah.
us awake every time we record this podcast, just with how hectic life's been.
we use the same drink every time.
Yeah.
And it's done me no wrong.
Yeah. It's keeping us up.
I should probably start drinking it while I'm watching the movies.
Yeah, stop you from falling asleep.
Guys, I nearly fell asleep again for this one.
I saw you drifting off. Oh, I can't believe it, Micah.
I slapped myself out of it.
I can't believe it. You've finished your study. You've just had holiday after holiday, free time after free time, and you're falling asleep in the middle of a movie.
You know what? I think I've realized exactly when it happens. It's when there's a showdown between the kaiju and just military stuff.
Oh,
There's
so it's not kaiju
tanks
versus
and
kaiju.
cannons. Nah, it's just when you see those shots of kaiju getting blasted by lasers for 2 minutes straight.
Reused footage of kaiju getting blasted as well while doing damage.
Nodding off just thinking about it.
Yeah. Unbelievable stuff. But thank you everyone for joining us once again. We're going to be talking about Godzilla versus Megalon. I just want to do a quick plug for our Patreon though. I know we plug it a lot, but we've been doing a whole lot of stuff on there recently.
Yeah.
Since our last Go Godman, Go Green Man episode, we've released 2 Patreon episodes.
Oh, you're right. Almost back to back.
Yeah, we did an episode on Nope, which was released earlier this year. One of my favorite episodes we've released.
Yeah, we went real in depth on the whole cinema industry at the moment. And fun fact, both of these movies do actually have kaiju in them.
Yeah, because the other one was Troll, which just came out on Netflix last week.
Yeah.
So check those out, jump into the Patreon, and if you jump in, the link's in the show notes or at patreon.com/Podzilla. Before Christmas, you'll be getting an extra little Christmas surprise on December 25th. So jump into the Patreon, listen to those last episodes, see what's going to be in your stocking for Christmas, and then you can also vote on our Patreon episode for January.
Mm-hmm. And it's super cheap, literally less than the price of a stocking stuffer.
Yeah, there you go.
So give us a little present for Christmas.
No, honestly, we appreciate you guys who do. We also appreciate you guys who don't. We're excited to get back into the swing of things. Godzilla versus Megalon. What was it about, Micah?
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Jet Jaguar. A humanoid robot developed by an inventor named Goro living in the countryside of Japan is seized by an undersea race called the Seatopians. The Seatopians are looking for vengeance after nuclear tests caused devastation on their society. Taking control over the robot, the underworld species sends Jet Jaguar as a guide for their instrument of revenge, a giant, beetle-like monster called Megalon. Goro, his brother Roku, and friend Hiroshi get drawn further and further into the Seatopians' plans until they manage to take back control of Jet Jaguar. They send the robot off to Monster Island to try find Godzilla for help, which prompts the Seatopians to ask the aliens from Space Hunter Nebula M to send the monster Gigan so that he can do battle with Godzilla. Jet Jaguar suddenly begins to grow to the size of the other kaiju, leading to one final fight. Jet Jaguar and Godzilla versus Megalon and Gigan. Seatopians versus the rest of humanity. As the titans clash, who will come out the victors?
Ooh, intense.
There's a lot to this one.
Intense synopsis for such a weird, wacky, fun movie. But you're right, a lot to unpack, a lot happened. Just right off the bat, exactly that. I am surprised by how fast this movie just kicks things into high gear and just doesn't let up until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's not monster versus monster action the whole time, it starts off and these three main characters, Goro, his little brother Roku, and then Goro's friend, Hiroshi, as they just return home and then find robbers in there, and then this huge battle and car chase ensue. It's insane.
So it sets up the movie to show off Goro. He's this crazy inventor making a bunch of inventions. One for his little brother Roku. It's a giant dinosaur, like rainbow paddle boat.
Was that made by
riding on the lake? I assume it's made by him.
Because Roku was also making his own things, right? He made Roku, Goro's little brother, made himself a mini bike later on, like a mini motorbike. So maybe Roku just made this huge multicolored. I think it was a dolphin.
It's something like
just
that.
Paddle toy, pool toy.
Yeah, but these guys are out on the beach. When suddenly disaster strikes as the seas start to crack open, forming crevices which all the water pours into, leaving Roku nearly dying and drowning, but they're able to use their
rope launcher.
I was wondering if there was a more scientific name for it, but no, it's a rope launcher.
Yeah.
The perfect thing to bring out for a classic beach day.
You got to bring it just in case something happens to the dolphin water toy.
Yeah.
You know, they're living in a world full of all manner of kaiju. They got to be prepared to get their invention. More importantly, I guess, get Roku out as well.
That's right. So they're set up as this group of pretty smart people.
Trio, yeah.
At the same time, we're introduced to the Seatopians.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've seen 5 different iterations of these people before. They're your society of people living under the sea.
Yeah, well, in Atragon specifically, there is a race of people or a society of people very similar to the Seatopians, but they're called the people of Mu. And they live under the water. They've got some sort of conflict with the land dwellers. They have a huge big old kaiju that protects them. In Atragon it was Manda. But in this it's the Seatopians with Megalon. And what I found funny as well is they actually mention at the start of this movie, the main trio are talking about cities under the water. This is before they know the Seatopians even exist. And they mention Mu by name. So they know that there was a lost city of Mu that sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And I'm guessing like they knew about the people of Mu and maybe even Manda at this point. Who knows? But it connects Atragon pretty nicely into all this.
Yeah, it's nice to have some of that continuity.
Yeah.
Especially from such a weird movie.
Yeah, totally.
Atragon of all places. While that's happening, we also see snippets of Monster Island. So, Seatopia attacks because humans are doing nuclear tests on islands. It specifically says that a nearby island, Monster Island, also feels the effects of the nuclear testing.
Yeah.
And you literally see a whole segment of Monster Island just blowing up.
Yeah. They reuse stock footage of Rodan from Destroy All Monsters, and they've like overlaid explosions and rubble over top of him.
Was it overlaid?
Yeah, so that's completely stock footage with Rodan. But there's new scenes with Godzilla on it that are filmed, and there were actually new scenes with Anguirus filmed for this.
Oh.
There's a single scene of him as he falls into a hole during the destruction of Monster Island.
Classic Anguirus, man.
That's him down for the count for the rest of the movie. He's just stuck in a hole. But then they go right back to as Monster Island gets destroyed, Godzilla jumps off into the water, and that's more stock footage from Ibra Horror of the Deep.
They're using those kinds of stock footage so much.
Yeah, but I'm liking how clever they are with putting it in. Like, at least in Godzilla versus Gigan, you could significantly see the suit changes, and it was quite off-putting. In this, they do it in such a way that they're quick scenes and you don't notice it as much. They don't dwell on the actual costumes.
Yeah, it's quite tactful the ways that they do it.
Yeah, it's not great, but you're right, tactful.
If you hadn't seen the other movies, you wouldn't know it's stock footage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of sets off our movie. At this point, we're also introduced to some of the Seatopians.
Yeah. How do you feel about the look of the Seatopians, Micah? I want your insights into how great of a fictional Godzilla race are the Seatopians. Where do they rank?
So, where do they rank? I don't know about ranking, but let me tell you, one of them looks like Jimmy Fallon so much.
Wait, this is one of the like undercover Seatopians.
Yeah, so there are two types of Seatopians. There's the quote-unquote natives of Seatopia.
Yeah.
Then there are their agents on the surface who wear business suits, shades, and wacky hairstyles.
Yeah.
They look like... Do you know the SpongeBob musical? You know Squidward?
The SpongeBob movie? Oh no, you mean like the actual stage show?
Do you know this human Squidward hair they have?
Yeah, I do.
It looks like that.
What a deep cut reference. Yeah, you're actually quite right.
But like super duper... Looks like a unibrow, but I don't know. Look it up. They're fun. But we also have the natives.
Yeah.
And we have a returning actor as well.
Yeah.
As the head of Seatopia.
I didn't even realize, but you mentioned that it's the same American dude that plays Mark Jackson from Dagora.
Yeah. And he was an English actor.
Yeah.
And he actually spoke English in this, but it was overdubbed with Japanese. But in Dagora, he was the jiu-jitsu, karate fighting...
Yeah.
Con man? He wasn't a con man.
Yeah,
he was looking for the diamonds.
He was looking for diamonds. And that, I remember that they were hoping to make a series of spin-off films with his character that fell through. So it was very interesting to just see him show up for a bit part in this.
Yeah.
He's only in it for a handful of scenes, like one day of shooting.
And at this point, Dagora is not linked to the Godzilla universe.
No, it's just a Toho movie.
Yeah, so this is technically his second Godzilla role, first at the time.
Yeah. I want to hear what you thought about their costumes.
I don't know.
They're wearing like togas.
It's like toga.
But the woman specifically, there's a whole lot of
I
dancers.
forgot about these. And this is what you meant, wasn't it?
They've got like pointed white hats and see-through clothes that show right through like their swimsuits underneath.
Yeah, it's like a two-piece swimsuit. This is the type of thing that you'd see like modern fashionistas get their models to wear down the runway.
Quite avant-garde for Seatopia. You know, they cut themselves off centuries ago from the rest of the world. And our fashion path goes to where we were like in the 70s, right? You know, just like colourful.
They took the fast track.
They took the fast track into real modern, like see-through, making a statement.
Yeah.
You know? Seatopia.
I will say as well, leader of Seatopia, he has a crown headband with the face of Megalon on.
I didn't even realise that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a little hinting at him there. But they're a good old song and dance, as they always do in these scenes.
Yeah.
And awakening Megalon.
Yeah. And we'll get into Megalon a bit later when we break down the monsters, but he's pretty cool.
He's pretty
giant beetle monster. What I want to specifically talk about is the trio, the main three, Goro, Roku, and Hiroshi. Because to be honest, we're spending the majority of the movie with them. The whole kaiju versus kaiju battle isn't really until the last 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah, you're right.
And up until that point, we're doing various things with them. They're having various interactions with Jet Jaguar. But I actually found their scenes quite engaging. And I really, really loved the character of Hiroshi, just the best friend that's along for the ride. Because numerous times in this movie, he's like in long car chases. It's like straight away, as soon as something happens, he just bursts into action, does some crazy choreography fight scenes, jumps into a car, drives the car down steps, drives it down like this sheer cliff.
This scene is amazing.
Into a quarry.
Yeah.
He's taken out like motorbikes and all manner of people.
The motorbike runs over his car while he's still driving.
I loved him. He's just straight into things all the time.
Yeah, he's great, actually. He doesn't have... I don't think any of these three have too much speaking to do.
No.
But they have quite a few fun scenes.
Yeah.
A little later in the movie, the other two... Is it both the brothers?
Yeah, Goro and his brother Roku.
They're stuck in a sort of shipping container on the back of a truck. They just have a bunch of fun scenes where they're just sliding around this huge crate.
When that shipping container is thrown through the air, like miles into the air, and then lands, and they just roll out like nothing happened.
Yeah, they're fine.
Iconic.
Everybody knows if you fall into a reservoir of water, you're dead. If you're chucked up into the air, like a kilometer away, and you land, you're fine.
This is Indiana Jones in the fridge all over
It really is. It really is. Feels like
maybe even worse because it's not in a real tight space. They're like getting thrown around inside a big container.
Days for like a minute.
What did you also think of the dude's truck that was driving around the shipping container? How about those pin-ups on the wall behind him? Naked ladies in our Godzilla films shown at the Toho Champion Kids Film Festival, Micah.
This is the Kids Festival. I was wondering about this because I know in Japan culture, nudity is a little more normal, I want to say, because you have the whole sauna lifestyle.
Yeah.
That is real big over there. I don't know if that extends to nude female pinups. And I actually doubt at the time that their screens would have been high quality enough to see them.
Everyone watching these on VHS rips or whatever just don't even see it. Yeah, it's interesting because I guess you look at like manga and anime as well, and women are very sexualized all the time. It's like a very normal thing, whereas you look at the same kind of content here in the Western world. It's nowhere near. I don't know. It's an interesting question.
I'd say it's here, but you wouldn't see it in movies made for kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'd see it like an Alien.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's an Alien, the exact same thing, but not a Godzilla versus Megalon.
Exactly. I also want to go back, because we haven't even talked about kind of the protagonist of this movie. Not Godzilla, but Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
So, the first I was introduced to Jet Jaguar way back. I think in our early episodes we talked about the board game that our dad made us as kids.
Yeah, our little intro episode, we talked about it.
Yeah, our Godzilla board game. Funnest game ever. I miss it so much. One of those cards had this humanoid robot called Jet Jaguar on it, and I thought it was the weirdest character to be in the Godzilla universe. For the longest time, I thought he was an alien.
Yeah.
I only realize now that he isn't. I think it makes sense coming off the back of our Go Godman and Go Green Man episodes. This feels like a follow-up to those of Toho bringing in they're called Kyodai Heroes.
Kyodai Heroes, yeah. Because this is post-Ultraman being very popular. And I guess that Toho wanted to do their own thing with it. I actually was reading up, and Toho knew that in the next Godzilla movie, they wanted to include a Kyodai hero. And they put a contest out there to the kids of Japan for children to come up with their idea and their design for a hero to fight the bad guys along with Godzilla. And the winner of this contest, this is a crazy story. The winner of this contest was an elementary school student who submitted his original idea for Kyodai Hero.
Please tell me this is actually Jet Jaguar.
No. He submitted a character called Red Arone.
Red Arone.
And Red Arone resembled kind of Ultraman, and then another popular Kyodai hero at the time called Mazinger Z. So there's a picture of Red Arone, who this kid designed and sent in. He won the contest. His Kyodai hero was chosen to be fighting alongside Godzilla. Then Toho got it and decided to completely redesign him. They didn't like the name being Red Arone, so they changed the name to Jet Jaguar. And they took this design. You guys will have to look it up. We'll share it in our Discord. But Red Arone looks very different to Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
And Toho just completely reimagined him, made him a whole lot simpler. And it's not even the kid's character anymore. And the kids saw this and saw what his creation had turned into, and he just burst out crying, the story goes, and he was
Seriously?
inconsolable.
Oh, man. So I'm looking at this picture. Same color scheme as Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
But he definitely looks less like a humanoid. He looks like a person with almost, I want to say, dragon wings, dinosaur hands, and like a bird bug hybrid head.
Yeah.
Definitely more like a creature than what you'd imagine a Kaiodai hero to be.
Yeah. Something very similar to the kind of monsters you'll see in Godman, Green Man, as opposed to the real stripped down Jet Jaguar that we ended up with. So a little interesting story about how Jet Jaguar came to be. But you're right, he is the protagonist pretty much in this movie. There's a rumor going around that this was meant to be a Jet Jaguar movie, and Godzilla was added in last minute. But I did a bit of reading up, and apparently it was always meant to be a Godzilla movie starring Jet Jaguar.
Which seems very weird because Godzilla, apart from that very first scene, which you could easily take out and it would still make 100% sense, Godzilla doesn't show up until
last 15 minutes when he enters the battle at the end, pretty much. I think he's in it for a few...
the last 15 minutes, and then 2 briefly when Jet Jaguar flies over to Monster Island. But he's almost totally absent from this movie otherwise.
Yeah.
I would 100% believe that they meant for this to be Toho's big Kaiodai hero movie.
Yeah, create a franchise, Jet Jaguar, continue it on, kind of in the vein of Ultraman, but making movies, right?
I think I would have loved this if it was a separate character.
Oh.
In like a separate character series within the Godzilla universe.
Yeah, kind of like an adjacent film.
An adjacent series. What we got is so interesting, eh?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I like Jet Jaguar. From the onset of the movie, we're introduced to kind of his body while he's still being made. Then we see his head get finished and the control panel kind of set up to control Jet Jaguar. And he's a pretty cool character because he's completely controlled by Goro. Yeah. Goro's commands tell Jet Jaguar what to do.
He has a necklace that he speaks into to command him. And am I right in saying that he was originally made to be like a servant? Almost like a C-3PO to them.
Yeah, they kind of just wanted him to do random things for them. And I think one of the first instances we see Jet Jaguar, he is like bowing down to welcome the robbers into the house as if they were visitors because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah. And he ends up like pushing them over.
yeah, it's pretty funny. But originally Jet Jaguar was controlled by Goro, then he's controlled by the Seatopians. And then out of the blue...
And I love this plot detail.
When Jet Jaguar sees that Megalon's a menace and the Seatopians are a menace, he gains a will of his own.
Yeah,
and he just breaks complete control and becomes like a sentient being.
So he literally gains sentience halfway through the movie. They don't specify what gave him sentience, but they almost hint towards it when they end. So he grows super big to the kaiju size for his battle with the Megalon. And they say that his determination made him that big. So I think we're led to believe that his determination to stop this creature is what gave him sentience.
Inspiring.
And that's stripped away at the end of the movie. He reverts to his normal servant-like robot form at the end.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's really interesting having a character who for half the movie is working of his own will.
Yeah, I really like him as a character. Like, even though he doesn't talk, he
doesn't need to.
He doesn't
need to.
He has some of the most iconic moments in the series so far. My favorite of which is when he just does a thumbs up to answer a question.
We use this so much in the Discord. It's one of our favorite gifs.
Yeah, but just his like emotionless smile as he does a thumbs up. It's just amazing.
My favorite's probably in the end where he goes for a handshake with Godzilla like 2 times.
Yeah, they do this real kind of awkward handshake. They should have hugged.
Oh, it felt like they were going for it.
Like start off super far from each other, walk closer, just do a handshake. Like a hug, or even maybe, kiss on the cheek, friendly embrace. Something a bit more passion-filled.
Arm around the shoulder. Yeah, something.
This movie also has another kaiju we haven't talked about yet, but Gigan makes an appearance.
Yes.
The Seatopians realize that they're losing the fight, and they call their friends from Space Hunter Nebula M to just lend them Gigan for a few hours.
I feel like at this point they just wanted to reuse a really cool kaiju they had, Gigan, because they reused the intro Gigan scene where he's emerging from the crystal. They even reuse some scenes from his big fight with Godzilla later on.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic scenes in Godzilla vs. Gigan is when Gigan flies over and cuts into Godzilla's shoulder using his chest saw blade. They just repeat that whole scene.
Yeah, the exact same split of blood.
Yep.
A lot of the Gigan vs. Godzilla stuff is reused, which is a bit of a shame, but it was cool to see him nonetheless.
Yeah.
Should we? I mean, now's a good time. Let's get into the characters in Kaiju proper. But did you have a favorite character from throughout the movie?
I love Roku. He's just an enthusiastic kid who loves to invent stuff.
Yeah.
We see a few scenes of him working in his garage, and you mentioned it before, but he makes this mini bike, and when you hear mini bike, make it even minier. There's like...
They're a real thing, right? Like real small motorbikes that people ride around.
Yeah, but there's like foot-sized skateboards, penny boards?
Penny boards.
It's literally like a penny board with handles that he sits down on. And you just see him taking it out for a test drive at like 2 miles per hour.
This scene we get with him on the mini bike, we see the Seatopians in this car as they're driving slowly down the road, and like real jazzy music's playing as they just rock down this road, and they pull up next to Roku, who's just driving along on his mini bike, and just real quickly like grab him into the car.
They open the car door and he just slams into it.
Yeah.
Rip Roku.
Yeah, I liked Roku as well. At the end, when he gets lifted up onto Jet Jaguar's shoulders as the Jet Jaguar theme song plays them out.
Yeah.
Man.
Jet Jaguar has a theme song, guys.
Yeah. But Roku's just so happy in that moment. The joy is infectious through him.
It is.
As I said before, my favorite character is probably just Hiroshi. He's just non-stop throughout this whole movie. I don't know if he was just like, yeah, just give me all the stunts you can, or I don't know, but every fight scene, he feels like Jackie Chan. Out. Yeah, he does. He's a Japanese Jackie Chan. He's going crazy throughout this movie. For like the first 15 minutes, I swear his only dialogue's like, damn it, damn them, damn you. Like it's just non-stop. He just says damn every single sentence, every word he says for the first little bit. It's just so action-packed and so funny.
I think he really comes into his own when there's that scene where Jet Jaguar bows down and the Seatopians come into their home, and we have a really fun choreographed fight scene. It is, without exaggeration, the best fighting we've seen in a Godzilla movie so far.
I'm with you there, yeah.
Cinematography is great. Literally, there are modern movies that don't have this much effort put into their fighting scenes.
Yeah.
He's so good. I'm trying to remember a few of the things he did. But he's like using his environment around him.
Yeah, just his stances and swinging off things and around things. Really cool.
Really cool.
Really fun fight scenes. And then, let's go through the kaiju as well.
Okay.
And we haven't done this in a while, but let's listen to their roars as we go through them.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So, first off, let's start with Jet Jaguar. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find a roar for Jet Jaguar, so we'll see if I put something in there or not.
He has a few techno noises.
But cool character. He's really the heart and soul of this movie, which is funny because he's just a soulless robot.
Yeah.
But everything with him's really fun. He's metallic looking, but he's got bits of blue, orange, red on him. And yeah, we said before, but he has a theme song. It is like the coolest song.
And he's an interesting character because I feel like for half this movie, it's not him fighting, but it's him just flying around in circles over the enemy. Because he doesn't become huge until the last act of this movie.
No.
So he's this human-sized robot just flying around the air in circles.
Yeah. Flying to Megalon, leading Megalon somewhere, flying to Godzilla, leading him somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I read a little interesting thing about Jet Jaguar, but in Germany, We know how they
Frankenstein?
like to, we know how they like to promote
I can see
Godzilla
where this
movies.
is going, yeah.
It's Frankenstein, but they switched things up for a change.
No.
So for the German release of Godzilla vs. Megalon, Jet Jaguar was completely renamed to King Kong.
Oh, wait. So the Frankenstein's out of the equation now, and they're calling him King Kong.
And there is a rumor that I have not verified, but apparently in the German release, he's explicitly referred to as a monkey in a suit.
What?
So it's like this is actually King Kong wearing a like super suit, and he's Jet Jaguar.
If they didn't change any of the scenes in that movie, I don't know. I don't even know how that makes sense, Tasha. The determination makes this monkey grow big.
Yeah. I really don't know how
heck?
that would work in the story. Like, does Goro just invent a suit for his monkey? Is he and King Kong just best friends, and King Kong's human size?
Guys, this is where you come in. If any of you speak German or can get your hands on the German version of this movie, please help us. I want to verify this so much.
Man, growing up as a German kid, watching these Godzilla movies as they hit releases would have been a wild time.
My favorite Godzilla character, dude, is the monkey in the suit.
Yeah, you grow up watching these.
King
and
Kong.
It's like King Kong. Yeah, King Kong and Frankenstein, who comes to battle alongside him at the end, right?
Yeah. Oh, weird.
Jet Jaguar, unfortunately, doesn't make many other appearances. This is his only film that he appears in.
And this surprised me. I thought he was in Final Wars, or at least a few other movies down the road, because I feel like he's proclaimed throughout the Godzilla fandom as a real prevalent figure.
Yeah, him and Megalon both seem to be very iconic. They appear in majority of those Godzilla fighting games, but they're both only in this one movie. Jet Jaguar, however, makes various appearances in Godzilla and Godzilla Island, the YouTube puppet shows. But more notably, last year, Jet Jaguar is the main character in Godzilla Singular Point, the Netflix anime.
Yeah, and I believe in that he's more of a mech character that the protagonists use. And he's got a really interesting visual style in that. We'll talk about that a lot more when we actually get through the series and know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into that one. Next up is Megalon. And Megalon was completely based off the Japanese rhinoceros beetle.
I've caught that in Animal Crossing before.
You've caught the Japanese rhinoceros beetle?
Is there a difference between the...
Probably not. It's probably just a rhinoceros beetle, I don't know.
Yeah, just a classic rhinoceros beetle.
But he's also got a body that looks kind of like a cicada's with big wings on his back. And his movements are based off grasshoppers.
Oh, this is my favorite thing about Megalon here.
When he's following Jet Jaguar in this movie, he's just bouncing after him.
Yeah, they obviously hooked up the person and the actor in the suit to some wires, and he just jumps along. To be the suit actor for Megalon.
Yeah, well, it's said as well that Megalon is supposed to be Toho's least intelligent kaiju.
Really?
Yeah, which is why he's very easily manipulated by anything around him, why he's so eager to follow Jet Jaguar, why he's so confused when he doesn't have Jet Jaguar to follow, and why he's just jumping around mindlessly, kind of moving his arms, swaying around, just as free as a bird, joyfully just bounding throughout the majority of this movie.
Yeah. He's also cool because he's got fly-like eyes.
Yeah.
But he also has real cool drill hands.
Yeah, real interesting, eh?
It feels like they're metal, but he uses them. He points them both upwards in a pyramid formation with his hands and digs through the ground while flying through it. Real cool. In the latter scenes, he bashes them together to taunt Jet Jaguar and Godzilla.
He even bashes a drill on his butt. He turns around and he's whacking his butt, looking at Godzilla like, get over here.
It's so funny.
I love Megalon. He's just so weird. He looks so cool.
He's a weird one, eh?
His behavior, is so erratic. But exactly what I said before, this is the only movie he's in, and he doesn't even return in anything else apart from a few episodes of Godzilla Island and Godzilla.
Yeah, which is really interesting because he's got quite a cool power set.
Yeah.
Other than the drilling and the flying, he has his horn, which he uses to blast electricity. There are some reused stock footage scenes where he does the same effect that King Ghidorah does with his heads.
This was very clever of them because, he goes on like a rampage. He's firing lightning from his horn, and they cut to King Ghidorah's lightning destroying buildings, and it looks pretty good until you see that there's other beams of lightning at the same
Multiple
time.
lightning
You're
blasts.
like, how's he? He's only got one horn. How's he doing this?
If I'm a kid, though, I wouldn't have realised that.
Yeah.
He also has pellets that he shoots out of his mouth, which create fire.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about this. Like little grenades.
Yeah, little fire grenades. Right near the end of the battle with Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, he creates a ring of fire by blasting them around them, which they stay trapped in for so long.
What a scene, though. Godzilla and Jet Jaguar back to back in this ring of fire.
Mm-hmm. It's a real cinematic.
How is the ground perfectly... it has this perfect ring of fire when it's just dirt? Who knows?
Who knows? But one of the ways they defeat or at least weaken Megalon, Megalon's laying on the ground and he goes to shoot one of these fire pellets at Godzilla, and he just shoots it directly into the air and it falls back into his mouth and explodes.
Yeah.
So he kind of defeats himself.
For the rest of the movie, he's just completely dazed as they're throwing him into the ground repeatedly. Yeah. It's
But
really
he's a
great.
fun one. Cool power set.
Yeah. And he's teamed up with Gigan, who we just saw in Godzilla vs. Gigan. I've got nothing much else to say about him that we haven't already said last episode. But it was cool seeing him with Megalon in this. I think, and I don't know if this is a popular take or not, but I think the duo of Gigan and Megalon and the duo of Jet Jaguar and Godzilla are way better teams and matchups than Gigan and King Ghidorah and Godzilla and Anguirus.
Because they're the team up we saw in Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Yeah, and we mentioned it last episode, but the fight in the later half of Godzilla vs. Gigan is very slow and boring, and they're not really teaming up much.
It feels like it's always just one-on-ones and you flick between them.
Yeah, but I really love them. We'll get into it sooner with Godzilla, but Godzilla and Jet Jaguar team up for most of their moves, and specifically Megalon and Gigan are such a fun duo.
I think the reason why they work so much more is because it's not necessarily they're fighting,
Yeah.
but they're so fun. They just taunt together.
Yeah, most of the time they're just taunting, they're just clapping together, like kind of laughing together. But I also love their looks together. It's very complimentary, like the metallic bits on both of them. You got the chest.
Buzzsaw.
Yeah, you've got the buzzsaw on Gigan and the drill bits on Megalon.
And then Gigan's like scythe arms as well. And they're both clapping them together.
Yeah, it's really fun. I really liked Gigan in this one. I'm glad that he made a reappearance.
I also think that this is a little bit better of a showcase of Gigan than his own movie was.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's quite cool just having them randomly call in this monster that we've seen before.
Yeah.
I kind of like how Gigan's got like essentially a cameo in this, but he plays quite a pivotal role at the end. It's just a cool inclusion.
I don't know. What do you think of them taking his character and making it a bit more lighthearted in this as well?
Yeah, well,
Because this whole movie has a very lighthearted tone.
it's Jun Fukuda. He's done Son of Godzilla, which is super lighthearted and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then he did, Ibra Horror of the Deep.
My fave.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Colourful, silly, fun time. Then he did Godzilla vs. Gigan, which wasn't as silly as those two, but the plot was still kind of wacky. It was still colourful. But you're right, this one returns to kind of the feel of Son of Godzilla, Ibra Horror of the Deep. Just everyone's just really wacky. Like we get another like kind of sports montage in this when Megalon and Gigan are chucking Jet Jaguar back and forth between them.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. But I kind of like that silly feel. It gives them a lot more personality than just monsters of destruction.
I think so. It turns the silliness up to 11. I think it does work in Gigan and Megalon's favour, for sure.
I mentioned that Anguirus and Rodan were in this. It's funny how many appearances Rodan's had recently, and most of them are just stock footage appearances. Attack All Monsters, Godzilla vs. Gigan, and this technically feature Rodan, even though he's just doing the same pose for all three of them.
He's raking in those IMDb credits.
Yeah, there you go. And Anguirus is in this to just fall down a pit. But lastly, Godzilla.
Dude, he's got a new suit.
He does. This suit's called the Megaro Goji suit.
What does that
I
mean?
think it's just like Megaro after like Megalon? I don't know. But apparently the suit was made in a week.
What?
It took a week to create this suit, which is the fastest Godzilla suit ever made to date. And they didn't have time to make the eyes work for this one. They wanted the eyes to have a lot more movement.
Yeah.
But they didn't have time to. They did fix the eyes after this movie, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he looks interesting. He's got a very like streamlined, almost smaller body, and a real puffy face, real puffy dorsal fins. He looks kind of like an action figure here.
He almost looks like he's from Godzilla,
Yeah.
but like a normal proportion. I will say something as well. So me and Jason were watching this the other day, and your mother-in-law came in at this point, right before Godzilla joins in for the final battle.
15 minutes of the movie.
And she has only seen the new Godzilla movies.
Yeah, the MonsterVerse ones.
And she didn't even know it was a series. She didn't even know that he was around in the 70s, let alone the 50s.
She didn't even know this was a Godzilla movie when she was staring at Godzilla in this.
But she had a lot of fun. She sees him walking along. Her first comment was like, he looks like a baby.
Yeah.
And just laughing at how he's waddling for so long.
We've tried to get my wife to watch these with us. We've tried to get our sister to watch a few with us. We've tried to get my friend when he's around to watch them with us. She's the only one who sat down.
She sat down with her dog and she enjoyed every single moment of this.
She did the classic stand up, ask a few questions from behind the couch, get a little closer to the TV, finally sit down, and she stayed for the rest.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
But yeah, he looks a lot... He just looks weird, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't necessarily like the costume as a Godzilla costume.
Yeah.
Thinking back to like the 54 Terror and Destruction.
Yeah.
But for a lighthearted movie, he embodies the tone really well.
He very much fits the fun tone this is going for, and he looks real cool with Jet Jaguar together.
Yeah.
I liked him in this. That's all the monsters. Do you have a favorite? Because I know you're Gigan's #1 fan, right?
Dude, I feel like these movies have been letting Gigan down a little bit for me.
Oh no!
Sadly, he was pretty fun in this one. I'd say it's a tie-up between Jet Jaguar and Mogira.
Mogira?
No,
right.
No. Sorry, I'm getting my robots mixed up.
Well, Mogira has drill hands, right?
They look really similar.
Yeah. Megalon.
I think Megalon and Jet Jaguar, it's a great movie for both of them.
Yeah.
I think Megalon might edge Jet out.
Wow.
Real cool power set. I love his personality in this. I keep thinking back to him bounding along. Great mental image. I'll be counting Megalon bounces in my dreams tonight. Megalon's jumping over the fence.
Oh, that's so good. I thought all four of the main kaiju in this were really strong, were really fun additions to this movie. But, I'm going to be boring and just say Godzilla was my favorite.
Really?
Even though he's not in it for much, just the way he shows up. He does like a peace sign in this. He does a couple like hand kind of karate moves. At one point he picks up a tree and kind of uses it as a little katana.
What else does he do, Jasha?
He does a lot of this. Should I go back to some of my notes for that final battle?
Yeah.
I've got a lot of iconic scenes here, right? Okay.
Yeah.
First iconic scene. Jet Jaguar thumbs up. We've already talked about it.
Yeah, classic.
Amazing.
Classic.
Second iconic scene I wrote down. Gigan and Megalon's high five. We've already talked about it. Then we've got Megalon smacking his butt.
Yep.
Great scene. But then we got Godzilla, who flies on top of Jet Jaguar. They take off together.
This is when they're in that ring of fire. Don't know how to escape.
Yeah.
Godzilla grabs over the shoulders of Jet Jaguar.
Gets piggybacked on top of Jet Jaguar.
And they just fly away.
Yeah, but the most iconic scene, I have this one underlined. Godzilla's sliding tail attack. He literally just, out of the blue, Jet Jaguar grabs Megalon, holds him back, right? Godzilla runs away, gets a running start, then just like completely rotates horizontal, defies all physics, and just slides on his tail full force until his feet hit into Megalon.
This is another one of those meme moments in the community.
The physics don't make any sense. But what a scene.
What a scene. It's so good that he does the exact same thing twice. They reuse the footage.
Yeah.
in the editing room, they're just like, hey guys, let's do it again.
And then after that, straight afterwards, Megalon's like, he's just wasted. He's out of it. And then Godzilla picks him up by the tail. And just, I swear, like 10 times in a row, the same footage is used of him just awkwardly picking Megalon up. Again, defying all physics, the way he picks this costume up.
I don't think there's anybody in the suit at this point for Megalon.
No, but it looks so funny, just him slamming into the ground again and again and again.
And this was Jaish's mum-in-law's intro to Godzilla, and just seeing him faceplant Megalon over and over and over and over again like that. She's laughing her head off in hysterics.
Yeah, I think she's a lifelong Godzilla fan after this one.
I think so. I think that's most of what we have, but dude, all in all, Godzilla vs. Megalon, what are your final thoughts? It's a hard one, isn't it?
Man, I do not know, because I was looking online and this movie gets a lot of hate. This is one of the lowest rated films of all the Godzilla films. But I don't know. I loved this movie. I really, really, really enjoyed this. I think Jun Fukuda did such a good job. And I don't know why, like, Son of Godzilla and this are some of the ones I've enjoyed the most.
You really like good old June.
Yeah, but it's a really fun story, engaging characters. Like, most of this movie is spent with our main trio. I wasn't bored at all. I thought all three of them were really, really fun to watch, and all of their scenes had a really good dynamic. The Seatopians are so campy, and I love their addition.
Campy, yeah.
I loved all the kaiju stuff, and the last 15 minutes of this is just a really, really fun fight. It puts Godzilla vs. Gigan to absolute shame with how good this fight is. Yeah, I don't know. It's really, really wacky, but it's really, really fun. And I really, really loved it. I don't really know why. Why do I like these Godzilla movies that a lot of other people don't? I just think, like, thinking back to kids watching this at this time, this would have been an absolute blast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, showing this at the festival, no brainer.
Yeah. Really fun time. I'm going to go simple rating for this one, Mike. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Thumbs up.
Wow. That's a lot more than I thought you'd give it.
Yeah, am I crazy? Am I crazy?
I don't think you're crazy.
I just really, really enjoyed this one.
I don't blame you. I think this might be one of the, surprisingly in season 2, one of the first ones where I disagree with you quite a bit.
Oh my goodness.
So, if I'm being honest with myself, me a Godzilla fan back in... Did this come out in 74?
73.
Back in 73, before seeing this movie, Godzilla has a reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie does Godzilla pretty bad.
Really?
I think this just goes over the edge a little too much into that fun, wacky, campy territory for me.
Yeah.
But that's me back in 73. Seeing this nowadays, it's a lot of fun. And I can laugh at Godzilla sliding on his tail. Any kids watching this, like you said, they'd be having a blast. But I think it's a weird combination of really liking this movie just for the sake of a fun movie, and then disliking this movie as a Godzilla movie, because it's not even about Godzilla for the majority of it. And while Jet Jaguar and, I keep going to say Mogira, Megalon are pretty fun characters, the fact that they don't really fight until the last 15-20 minutes of this movie, and when they do fight, Godzilla just comes in, and a bit of footage is reused. I don't know, it's not without its flaws. And on top of that, I don't actually think that the main characters are compelling leads for this.
Wow.
I cannot really remember a single thing any of them say.
Oh my gosh.
And they feel a little bland to me.
Yeah.
So, if I'm going purely on the wacky fun side enjoyment of this, I'd give it 3.5 thumbs up.
Okay.
If I'm going super serious Godzilla fan,
This is the official Podzilla rating. This is what we need.
I think this is a letdown of a Godzilla movie at the time.
Oh my gosh.
I would rate it 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up out of 5.
So I'm going to meet in the middle and give it 2.5 thumbs up.
Man. Wow. Yeah, I think you're not completely wrong there. I mean, we haven't really even talked much about Goro, who's our lead in this. He's definitely
He's the brother. He's the inventor.
He's the inventor, the older brother.
It feels like he doesn't do anything.
Nah. I get what you mean, but I did like the brotherly dynamic, even though they didn't really have much by themselves to contribute.
Okay.
Just that like last scene at the end, right? All of them arms around each other, hugging it up, lifting Roku on top of Jet Jaguar, theme song playing. Does it get better than that?
The music in this is fantastic. But yeah, I see why a lot of people don't like this.
Yeah.
If you're holding that sacred vision of Godzilla
Yeah, you're
as
right.
a terrifying creature, this throws that entirely out the window.
Totally. I completely understand. And I think honestly, I think it's just personal preference for me. Like,
Yeah, no, I
the
get
kind of
that.
stuff I like watching and the kind of stuff this did was just,
I mean, Godzilla walking along, handshaking Jet Jaguar,
yeah.
giving him a peace sign,
Yeah.
isn't really what a giant menacing dinosaur does. But if you embrace that, it is very, very fun.
It's not a Shiro Honda's original vision,
Yeah, he rolls in his grave right now whenever he thinks of this movie.
but it's like, I don't know, it's, I think, what Jun Fukuda does best. And I read
Yeah.
that he actually wrote the story for this one, wrote a lot of the script.
Mm.
So he's kind of just playing to all his strengths and doing something fun like
Yeah.
he usually likes doing. So I like it.
I will say as well, this is the best team-up movie we've seen so far.
Yeah, 100%, right?
think.
It definitely puts Godzilla versus Gigan like
Yeah.
by the wayside with how
Yeah.
fun this is. Let's go to you guys and see what you had to say about Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yeah, so first off, message from David on the Discord.
This is the David we called out earlier with Christine. Is that the one?
Did I say David? Yeah, this is you, David. I'm gonna have a talk with you later. These are David's thoughts. So, like Godzilla vs. Gigan, this was a childhood favorite of mine. Unlike the last movie though, nostalgia hasn't managed to keep this one looking so good. This movie is basically an extended episode of Ultraman with Godzilla thrown into the big fight at the end. It's silly, but I know there are a lot of people that enjoy it for that, and that's the great thing about the Godzilla series. There's at least one movie in it for everyone. And hey, Megalon is a cool looking monster, and Jet Jaguar was surprisingly good in Godzilla Singular Point, but my goodness, could they not put longer pants on these kids?
Yeah, man. All these kids in Godzilla movies wearing the shortest shorts known to
Booty
man.
shorts. Yeah.
We have a message here as well from Big O who says, Godzilla vs. Megalon is kind of an unrankable film. It's in that limbo where obviously it's bad, but no one can actually see themselves being the one to trash it all down. It lacks in production, story, plot, characters, almost about everything that would make a movie, well, a movie. But there's a certain magic in this film that no other movie in the franchise has yet to capture. The dynamic of Godzilla and Jet Jaguar versus Megalon and Gigan just could not be matched. Even with all the obvious filler and lack of plot that just elevates this to something beyond proper scoring, but alas, I'll give it 1. 2 out of 5 from Big O.
Yeah. I feel you there. This feels so hard to rank just because it takes the Godzilla series in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
And when you're holding it to the rest of the show era, you can't, right?
Yeah, it's a different movie. And I liked what David said before Big O as well, just that in the Godzilla franchise, it's so cool because there's a movie in it for everyone. There's really dark, really dramatic films, and there's really fun, lighthearted ones like this.
Real cinematic ones nowadays. You have your animes.
Yeah.
You have your Godzilla Island.
It's literally just an all-encompassing franchise,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
We also have one from Itnadove, starring what feels like a gay couple who builds a kaiju fighting robot with their brother/adopted son. This film has a lot of love. The infamous Dropkick and Jet Jaguar leave quite the impression, and while the fun story and Megalon aren't quite as good, they're both still a lot of fun. 4.3 out of 5.
Oh my goodness!
This is crazy.
Itnadove, you're with me here.
That's higher than Jaysha.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Also says, fun fact, this is the only Godzilla film not to feature any named female characters. We had some of the, I want to say Atlanteans,
Yeah,
but the people from Seatopia.
pretty much the only woman we see in this are scantily clad Seatopians and
Scantily clad pinup.
scantily clad pinups in the truck. Yeah, that's really interesting because a lot of these movies have had just a real strong, real cool female lead, but this one it's completely
Yeah.
lacking. But it's about time we had one for the bros.
For the
just
boys.
3 boys hanging out, getting kidnapped, getting chucked around in shipping containers.
I'm looking forward to the flip side when we have an all-female cast.
Yeah, we'll see if that
We'll see.
happens. Hopefully. Last thing we had sent in was a voice message from Waffles.
Hey, Waffles here with another kaiju review. Sorry, I've missed a few of things. Life has been hectic. But we're back for Godzilla versus Megalon. And, of course, the best character, Jet Jaguar. Just the greatest addition to cinema since the G-Man himself. He was so determined that he grew to the size of a kaiju and developed sentience. Like, you can't compete with that. Best film ever made, 5 out of 5 sentient robots. Interested to hear what you guys think. Just, like, peak cinema. Just amazing. Amazing film.
Is it just me or has Waffles been rating all of these movies 5 out of 5 best movie ever?
I think he's secretly undermining us, just saying that every film is better than the last as we go. I don't know if it's ironic or not, but I'm counting Waffles on the side of loving Godzilla versus Megalon. We're drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. We believe. Jet Jaguar truthers.
Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar
That's what Waffles said, truthers.
Yeah, the determination he had. I wish I had determination to rival Jet Jaguars.
Yeah. Let's go out into the world today, guys. After you listen to this episode, just try and have enough will. Just try and have the determination in your heart and your soul to just rise above everything else, you know?
Maybe you too can grow to such glorious heights as Jet Jaguar.
Oh, man. Words to live by. We've got an interesting couple of months, guys. We're going to let you know the next couple of episodes we're doing, just because our recording schedule might be all over the place, and we might not have time to let you guys know in advance and then wait for you to send in your thoughts. So our last episode for the year is actually going to be on Toho's next TV series, Zone Fighter, which sees Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Gigan make appearances in it. So that's going to be our last one for the year, Zone Fighter. Hopefully you can find that somewhere online. I know that we bought the DVD, but that's going to be an interesting one that's going to be releasing end of December. And then January, we have 2 back-to-back episodes guest starring the Final Draft boys, Adam and Alex.
I'm looking forward to this so much.
It's going to be really, really fun. So in January, we're covering Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and then Terror of Mechagodzilla. And that's going to take us out of the Showa era by the end of Jan, guys.
These are the final 2 Showa movies.
Yeah.
And I think we did a little tease back in the first episode they starred in, the Mysterians.
Yes.
That they were real keen to do some Mechagodzilla movies.
Yeah.
So full circle coming right back to it, nearly a year later.
Yeah. I don't know if they know much about Mechagodzilla or Godzilla mechs in general, but we're going to appoint them like our mecha experts, right?
Our mix.
Mexperts. Sounds like they're Mexico experts, but they're our mexperts. Yeah, we might get them in a few more times when a mecha comes into the movie. We missed Mechanicon, but we'll make up for it going forward. So yeah, if you have any thoughts on Zone Fighter, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, or Terror of Mechagodzilla, get them into us within the next month or so, and we'll make sure those get into the episodes.
Yep, and one final time, I'll remind you guys we have a super secret special surprise coming out on the Patreon come Christmas Day.
Yeah, you're not ready.
This is the best thing. It's probably one of the best ideas we've had since the start of this podcast.
Yeah. And this is something else we haven't done in a while, but if you guys just wouldn't mind rating us and reviewing us on the podcast platform that you're listening to us on, that goes a long way in helping people find the show. So if you wanted to rate us, just give us a fair rating. We won't ask for 5 out of 5, right? If you're like Micah and thought it was a fun time, but didn't do justice to Godzilla, you can lower it down a little bit.
Jason's talking a bit too much about Megalon slapping his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, rate it 1 star.
We're talking about scantily clad pinups, just
Not enough Jet Jaguar.
Yeah. But yeah, if you could rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, whatever you're listening to us on, would love that.
That's all right. I think that's us for this episode.
Yeah, that's us. And join us in 2 weeks' time for Zone Fighter to bring us out of the year. And to bring us out of the episode, we're going Jet Jaguar theme song.
Yeah, come on.
Jet Jaguar, Saga Jaguar. 宇宙怪獣怖く
That's been Podzilla with your hosts Jasha.
And Micah Drake. Follow along on our socials at PodzillaPod and jump into our Discord via the link in the show notes.
Huge thank you to Cassie Celine who did our podcast art and Dagora9898 who did our episode thumbnail.
Let's go. And just a disclaimer that any musical sound effects used in this episode belong entirely to the Toho Company. See you guys next episode.
人が作ったロボットだけど